News. I'm Emily Feazel. Today I will be bringing you news about events on campus, local news, and news from around the country. Here at the Hall, 37 Seton Hall students tested positive for COVID-19 in October alone. Dr. Brian Nichols says the university should consider a complete shift to online learning. Nichols is a trusted virologist and associate professor at Seton Hall. He warns the second wave of the virus has started, and coupled with the cold weather, it will only get worse, as other coronaviruses have spread more efficiently in winters past. Nichols urges the university to consider an entirely remote completion to the fall semester, or at the bare minimum, he says, allowing faculty to transition their classes to fully remote. Taking a closer look on campus, a new poll conducted by the Setonian shows Seton Hall students favor former Vice President Joe Biden for president over incumbent Donald Trump. Other interesting findings of the poll: nearly 78% of students polled rated racial inequality as their top issue. Donald Trump wins the Stillman vote with 44.3% of students polled, while in striking contrast, Biden wins the ComSchool vote with 80% support. Seton Hall students also overwhelmingly participated in mail-in voting, with 86.2% having voted or planned to vote by mail at the time of the survey, while only 13.7% indicated a plan to vote in person. And now we're going to head over to Ryan Johnston with your sports update. Ryan?
Thanks, Emily. Hi, Pirate sports fans. My name is Ryan Johnston, and I'm here to bring you the latest in the world of sports. In a highly anticipated matchup, the Pittsburgh Steelers took down the Baltimore Ravens 28-24 on Sunday. Despite dominating the time of possession and doubling the Steelers' total number of yards on offense, the Ravens were sloppy with the ball in their hands. They fumbled the ball twice, and Lamar Jackson threw for 2 interceptions. The Ravens fall to 5-2 on the season. Big Ben Roethlisberger threw for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Steelers are now 7-0 and looking like serious contenders to win the AFC. On a slightly more depressing subject, the New York Jets fall to 0-8 on the season after losing to the Chiefs 35-9. Sam Darnold threw for just 133 yards without a single touchdown. Patrick Mahomes shined, throwing for 415 yards and 5 touchdowns. Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill were also impressive. Kelce had 109 yards and 1 touchdown, while Hill had 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Jets still haven't made any indication at firing head coach Adam Gase. Not wanting to be outdone, the Giants lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 25-23 on Monday, their second loss by 2 or less points in 2 weeks. The Giants looked strong in the first half, but Tom Brady led a comeback in the third and fourth quarters. Daniel Jones had an opportunity to tie the game with a 2-point conversion, but it was knocked aside. After a questionable pass interference call, the Buccaneers walked away with the W. Brady threw for 280 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Jones threw for 256 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. The Giants are now 1-7 on the season. Finally, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights were brought back to reality with a loss to the Indiana Hoosiers this past weekend. After beating Michigan State, which ended their Big Ten Conference losing streak, the Rutgers lost to the Hoosiers 37-21. Rutgers quarterback Noah Vedral threw for 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, and Hoosiers quarterback Michael Penny Jr. threw for 283 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's all for today's sports update. I'm Ryan Johnston. Now back to Emily for more news from around the area.
Thanks, Ryan. While Americans nationwide opted to vote by mail this election season, many have shown concerns over their mail-in ballot being received and counted. In response, the state of New Jersey initiated an online ballot tracking tool that tells voters if their ballot has been received. However, the site warns it will not be able to tell you if your ballot has been rejected for any reason, such as an unfamiliar signature, until November 18th. For more information, Google Track My Ballot NJ. In more local news, Monmouth University joined Seton Hall in attempts to keep virus numbers down. Early this semester, Seton Hall announced that all classes will be remote following Thanksgiving break. This week, Monmouth University released a similar statement. With the exception of very few classes, the rest of their semester will also be remote after Thanksgiving. The university also highly recommends students traveling from one of New Jersey's 41 mandated quarantine states to not return until spring semester. Now it's time to take a look at the upcoming weather with Dylan Camp. Dylan?
Thanks, Emily. Hey there, Pirates. My name is Dylan Camp, and I'm here to tell you all about the gorgeous 5-day weather forecast for the South Orange area. Today, we're going to have a nice crisp fall day with a high of 65 and a low of 48 with some mild wind. As we start the weekend, the temperature will warm up a little bit with sunny skies and a high of 67 and a low of 46 on Friday. Saturday, we should have more sun and a high of 68 degrees along with a low of 46 degrees. Sunday will wrap up the weekend with another gorgeous day, high of 68 getting down to about 50 degrees that night, Lastly, to start the work week, we will keep the warm temperatures with a high of around 66, along with a low of 55 and partly cloudy skies on Monday. That will do it for your 5-day weather forecast. Enjoy the beautiful weekend. My name is Dylan Camp, and now back to Emily Feazel with more of the news from around the country.
Thanks, Dylan. On election night, the voice of America was heard in record numbers. As ballots continue to be counted, the number of votes cast is at an all-time high. Over 135 million votes were collected, with voter turnout quickly surpassing the 2016 election. According to the Washington Post, the 2020 election is on pace to reach 66% voter turnout, which would be the highest percentage in over 60 years. That's all for today's episode of Pirate News. Once again, I'm Emily Feazel. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, wear a mask, and have a great day.